Peace. Islam. Yes. Canaanland Moors class. 12th of November. And we're here. Want to send a shout out to Moorish Heritage and History School. I wide open class last night. Quite intense. You know, quite intense. Um, want to say Islam to all the Moors, all over, everywhere you're at, because it's on for real, for real. I know a couple of weeks ago, maybe last week, said it's on, but no, for real, it's on now, for real, for real. It's really on right now. Let's pay some bills, get some stuff out of the way before we move forward. Don't forget, this Saturday, what happened to the Moors after Spain? Foudreau, we're heading out to the area known as Hamilton, and because it's a industrial area, it's call it Steel City. Steel spelt in different variations of ways depending on who you talk to, but mainly Nation of Gods and Earths, because they know what's up, because that's pretty much their jurisdiction. As far as consciousness, everybody knows Nation of Gods and Earth, pretty much run Hamilton, pretty much, right? As far as the conscious stuff's concerned. So, let's see what's good. Sir Allen McNabb Center, 145 Magnolia Drive. So, you know what's up. There's the contact number. You know what I mean? Some Moors out there. Young Moors, too. Not some old heads. Not backseat Moors. There's a number. Not backseat Moors. Moors that they're not even in the car yet. Moors are not even in the car yet. Are on it like, yo, you need to come out here, man. Because these people out here, man, they need to hear something from somebody. So Islam to the Moors, Steel City. We'll see y'all Saturday. We got something for you. We got something for you. The next bill that we gotta pay is once again, once you put in your dues, the dues could just, be whatever. But once you put in your dues, then you get stuff, right? So, Nubian Culture Bookstore presents Who Told You You Came Here on a Slave Ship? And then Scrooge Rodwell again. We're going to be heading out to 7720 Linwood Avenue in Louisiana to go build with some Moors out there that want to know what's up, because there's Moors out here, and unfortunately, there's no Moors out here. Everybody's black out here. So, you need to, so Nubian culture came through, they did what they had to do for Kudro to be, while at the same time, there's people in this jurisdiction, they got, $1 million grant money or whatever, and they can't call Kudro to do a $50 thing, right? Oh yeah, and Kudro doesn't charge fees or nothing like that, you know what I mean? Because this is people's birthright. Fees are feudal. So as soon as these people start, tithes to come do some stuff, you know what I mean? Instead of when they come there, pass the hat around and whatever they get, something's up. When they got books stacked up like this, $50 a book, something's up. $50 a DVD, be careful. Because certain people don't want you to think. Certain people want you to be parrots and, whatever else, right? But we're not done with the bills yet. We got big bill, the overdue letter, bold letters and the big red X and all that stuff, right? To be proclaimed in every meeting. March 18th, 1929. Islam. I am glad to know that I have a few faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and the divine truth. There is a host of jealousy about me and the movement now by the same people on our side of the nation that claim it was only a joke and unreal. But now, since they have found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as American citizens. Okay? As American citizens. They are working every scheme that they can to disqualify me so they themselves may take charge of the situation. I have notified all these things to you long ago in the past. It is through the faithful Moors that attribute to the movement and uplifting funds, the ones that paid their divine respect to me and the movement will be remembered. That is why I am calling upon all faithful Moors, nobody else. He's calling on nobody else but faithful Moors. That's it. So get by Moors, they don't get nothing. Dirty Moors, obviously they ain't get. We're not talking to them. Passive Moors, they don't mention. Faithful Moors, that's it. Only those Moors. No other Moors. That's Noble Drew Ali. Don't forget. Prophet said, the parrots. So here's something you could parrot when they start whatever. You just ask them, sure, how faithful are you to the Prophet? When they start going in and trying to whatever, you already know they don't got it. So don't stop wasting your time. Go to rvbaypublications.com. Go to university, get yourself about 360 degrees. They are working every scheme that they can to disqualify me so they themselves may take charge of the situation. So they can take charge of the situation. Right? They want to disqualify the Prophet by, at the convention, jump in the chair, say, I'm the Prophet now. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else to follow me or whatever, and then everybody, because people don't think, right? They go and follow in that guy. And then, pay the bills. I have notified all these things to you long ago in the past. It is through the faithful Moors, once again, that attribute to the movement and the uplifting funds. Right? So it's only specific Moors nobody really is talking to. So we get caught up with people and all these different Moors. The true Moors, and then there's faithful Moors and dirty Moors. Right? And in the faithful Moor jurisdiction, it breaks down to, active Moors and Great Seal Moors and Washita Moors and whatever, right? But it's faithful Moors. That's the umbrella of the jurisdiction of Moors that are with the Prophet. Faithful. That's it. Anything else is uncivilized, right? The ones that paid their divine respect to me and the movement will be remembered. They will be remembered. The ones that pay their divine respect to me and the movement, they will be remembered. That is why I am calling upon all faithful Moors to increase their faithfulness to me, your prophet, and your divine Moorish movement. The Moorish movement, not the Moor movement, not the, whatever people, the Moorish movement. Just like Moorish American, that people like to run from and issue adjectives and stuff like that. Moorish movement. But funny that they don't want to take that ish out. They don't want to take the Moorish movement out, the Moorish movement, divine and national Moorish movement. They don't want to take the Moorish out there, but they want to take the Moorish out your nationality and birthrights. Conveniently. I need finance, and I need it badly. Never before have I needed finance so badly as I do at present, so I can shove aside the discord that is facing the nation. It comes to jealousy, now once again, of my fame and nobility. The nations of the world will not recognize the movement without I, the prophet, being head. It has been proven by my works which I have performed in the last few days. The nations of the world will not recognize the movement without I, the prophet, being head. And jealousy of the movement by the same people on our side that claim was only a joke and real, they found out then. So Moorish Americans who are faithful to the prophet, right, want to send an Islam to brother who did something very miraculous. Our good brother, Rutherford Bay, our good brother Rutherford Bay, who I just found out that that's his name, and he was on the um, he was on a video with the Dark Angel in training, right? Merkel, right? Or Lord Bay, or whatever, these guys call it. You know. Oh yeah, don't forget, they're in the Kirkman Bay, whatever, side of the Moorish movement. Keep that part in mind. So they're having a conversation or whatever, and this guy's trying his Jedi mind tricks, right? And Brother Rutherford is just chilling, beating this guy up with Noble Drew Ali, because profits up front. Guys going around talking about U.S. citizens and talking about all this other stuff with American citizens, and I didn't say what, I said how, and madness. And this is Moore, who's studious Moore, you know what I mean? Because he's down with the site, the university, that all the faithful Moors go to, because we're specific. And shut him down. Why? Because he thought. He thought. Questions presented, he thought and answered. And every answer, because he thought, was one with Allah. Shut this demon down on their own stuff. There's, oh yeah, no, I can't answer that right now because I ran out of minutes on the camera, so we gotta cut and come again. These jokers that all these people, and we told you, don't forget, that's Kirkman Bay, so it's not like, we're dissing nobody, right? Those are the guys who are down with, who killed Noble Drew Ali and jumped in the seat that he's talking about in the letters that people are following. Those guys. We're not talking about the people who we see today, 2014. We're going to trace them back. And we trace them back to the people who are down with assassinating Noble Drew Ali, get him out the way, just like he was talking about in the letter to be read every meeting that nobody's talking about. And those guys infiltrated the temple. You could go in the FBI papers, and it tells you that they're agents for them. Since, the Europeans, the one that gave the Moors everything, we're going to listen to him. He got FBI papers on Moor Science Temple. All right, check it out. Okay, well, they started their infiltration after the Prophet died. Why are they documenting after the Prophet died? Why they document it? Why they start their documentation up to the date of after the Prophet died? Right? These guys been in there, been agents, probably some church preacher or whatever guy, no different than Dr. York, R&B guy singing with lipstick and all that stuff there, perm and all that, but singing love songs. When Peter Tosh already told you guys, burn all the love songs and all that arms out. Sing your songs to the Most High. Same thing with Farrakhan, you're a calypso singer. Don't forget, Farrakhan's a calypso singer. All of a sudden, the number one whatever, just like Malachi York, the number one whatever, and you're an R&B singer? Oh, you just get to the top just like that. And nobody's not questioning nothing. So all these people knew about our birthright, knew about Noble Drew Ali, talk crap about him. He did this, he's a Mason, he has a friends, oh yeah, Masons taught him, these Indian whoever guys taught him, and not give him props ever for what he did. Not give him props to the point where they got him out the way and jumped in his seat, knowing that there's another guy who's going to make the same claim. And then there's another guy over there that's going to make the same claim, but he's going to call it a different organization. He founded whatever, but he's the reincarnation of, Allah and man and whatever. And people not recognizing what's going on. They still playing this stupidness. Playing this like as if Noble Drew Ali told the Moors that this is not no organization. Don't compare this to back to Africa and anything. This is nationhood. Real nationhood, not the fake stuff. These guys are talking about Negro, black, colored nations. Right? Everybody that doesn't say that they're more, in 2014, guarantee you're begging to be slaughtered. You're begging. You're pouring libation to the ancestors for them to slaughter you because you just don't want to have a nationality, because it's not, important. United States compliance with the Convention Against Torture and Other Cruel, Inhumane, or Degrading Treatment or Punishment. Written statement on police shooting of Michael Brown and ensuing police violence against protesters in Ferguson, Missouri. 53rd session of the United Nations Committee Against Torture, November 3rd to the 28th, 2014. Submitted by the family of Michael Brown, Hands Up United, Organization for Black Struggle, Missourians Organizing for Reform and Empowerment, acronym MORE. The Organization for Black Struggle, OBS, and they got the pyramid, and then they got the red, black, green flag in there. They assume it's a flag. That's their stuff. Reporting organization. This report is being submitted on behalf of the family of Michael Brown, Organization for Black Struggle, OBS, Hands Up United, and Missourians Organizing for Reform and Empowerment, MORE. The report addresses both the killing of 18-year-old unarmed black man, Michael Brown, by a police officer in Ferguson, Missouri, and extensive use of force by police officers, both issues representing violations, convention, blah, blah. Midday on August 9, 2004, Michael Brown, an 18-year-old black man, was walking down whatever, and they go on into the shooting, and he fired, and this guy fired, that guy fired. He was laying on the ground for hours. They didn't go and pick him up, and whatever else, right? The actions of the police department and the local prosecutor come against the backdrop of deep racial divisions in the community and a history of racial bias in Ferguson Police Department. While the population of Ferguson is 67% black, the police force that is 94% white. An annual report An annual report on racial profiling in Ferguson notes last year that 86% of police stops and 92% of police searches were on black people. In September 2014, the Department of Justice announced it would be conducting a civil rights investigation into the Ferguson police and is working with law enforcement to surrounding areas efforts and blah blah. Okay? Just like we were saying last night on the show, never challenge these people with their foolishness. Please, beg you, more, please. If you want to be on social network, forget posting whatever stuff. Go on these black stuff and beat these people up with their black madness that they're trying to push civil rights in 2014, and that's unconstitutional since the 1800s. That's unconstitutional. And they're talking about that in a UN thing. UN. They're talking about this in a UN spot. A UN. Now, that's 2 pages into the thing, right? So let's just see what, if they're going to the UN, right? And they let them in. And they're in there saying black people in there. One, if they do get something and the UN does something, that just goes to prove how sold out UN is for all you people who like to go use UN as a jurisdiction to go make your claim. That'll just show you how much of a fraud that they are, right? Or two, they kick their ass out of there and tell them, we're not doing anything. You guys need to go talk to the Department of Justice or whatever. One of those 2 things is going to happen, right? Either we're going to get to be sure as to whether UN's fraud, should we even send stuff to them? You know, no different than anybody else. That's a fraud. What are you sending stuff to them for? To do what? What are they going to say? Because it's interesting when Moors talk about, you know, they sent writs out and they get visits from people. It's not no UN people coming, it's embassies coming to see them. It's embassies coming to knock their door, say, yeah, I got this writ right here that you sent to whoever. I just wanted to see if it was really more. Oh yeah, well, yeah. Flag right there. Dogs, all that. Okay. Just checking. And they go about their business. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Because they were let in the door. They had the meeting. They got the transcript and stuff's online there that they went. Okay. You sat down with them? UN people? All right. Because remember, all those UN declaration, whatever, say that, you know, nationality better be on the table. You know, if we're going with the fact that they're legitimate and they are who they say they are, and they're the United Nations, all these nations signed on to the, you know what I mean, all these declarations, and then they made everybody sign it, you know, because there has to be, you know, peace on earth and tranquility. We have our blue helmet troops that if anything breaks out, we could send the troops there and they're going to make peace reign. Okay. They have documents where it says nationality must be on the table. So if nationality must be on the table, and Noble Drew Ali came and said nationality put me up front, and then these people are talking about getting shot up and whatever like that, and they got records of these people getting shot up. There's records. So that means a precedent has been set that these people could get shot up, or they wouldn't be doing it. I don't think they're shooting up any other people around here. only these particular people. 86% of the stops is so-called black people. 92% of searches is so-called black people. You don't see something's wrong with that picture? Because you don't think. They want to be parrot. They want to be on TV or whatever like that. You know what I mean? They don't want to know freedom. So you want freedom? Dead bury the dead. Let's go. No time waiting around with people and whatever. Because it's birthright time right now. Right? Think and save yourself, Noble Drawley told the Moors. Think and save yourself. Think, verb, thought, from T-H-O-T. Right? We put another H on there, that's Tahuti, right? Which is the scribe of, ancient stuff. And which, by the way, if you, study Moorish Oakland Star, and those Moors put out the information that Tahuti had colonies in the Americas. But, everybody knows him as ancient Egyptian god of whatever. Why does he have colonies in the Americas? And how come they're relating him to Atlantis? But they don't want to be Moors. They don't want to be black people, go to the UN, beg for something. Think. Thinking. Middle English. Thenken. T-H-E-N-K-E-N. From Old English, Thenkan. T-H-E-N-C-A-N. Akin to Old High German denken. D-E-N-K-E-N. To think. Latin, tongere. T-O-N-G-E-R-E. To know. Verb transitive. 1. To form or have in the mind. Intend, plan, thought to return early. 3. To have as an opinion. Believe. To regard as. Consider. To determine by reflecting. To call to mind. To devise by thinking. To center one's thoughts on. To form a mental picture. To subject to the process of logical thought. To exercise the powers of judgment, conception, or inference, reason, to have in or call to mind a thought, to have the mind engaged in reflection, meditate, to consider the suitability, to have a view or opinion, to have concern. Synonyms: think, conceive, imagine, fancy, realize, envisage, envision, mean to form an idea of. Think implies the entrance of an idea into one's mind, with or without deliberate consideration or reflection. Conceive suggests the forming and bringing forth and developing of an idea, plan, design. Imagine stresses a visualization. Fancy suggests an imagining, often unrestrained by factual reality. Realize stresses a grasping of the significance of what is conceived or imagined. Envisage and envision imply a conceiving or imagining that is especially clear or detailed. So instead of black, they obviously haven't thought, because black is vague, not detailed. And it's like the second line in the document, they say black. So immediately, like, oh my gosh, we have to sit through this whole thing with these people. Oh my gosh, they're not going to stop already. No, they're not going to stop. Okay, type up the stuff. Yeah, let these guys go out. Yeah, send the news to whatever. Yeah. No publication ban on this stuff. Let's put this out there. Show these people in the world that they don't want their birthright. They're abandoning their birthright. So now we can claim it as that's democracy, but we'll just pretend that we enforce the Constitution and we're Congress and we're all this stuff when ain't none of that going on. Fraud from top to bottom. Criminals came. Noble Drew Ali toppled all these criminals, right? Toppled all of them. Took away all the secrets. So you have no secrets, you know what I mean? Gave you everything it takes to save a nation. And people are playing around. Like, how come Moors can't? Because dirty Moors, that's why. That's who, always. That's the problem. Everybody wants to be friends with dirty Moors. Nobody wants to let those guys hang out to dry. You know? Blowing in the wind like wind chimes. Hang them out to dry. Right? Nobody wants them to dry. Everybody wants to keep them moist. What are you keeping them moist for? They're dirty. They're from the line of Moors that killed Noble Drew Ali. That's in the FBI papers. And they have their minions out there talking about trying to, school active Moors that they're judging. That they're judging the active Moor. Thinking, oh, yeah, we got this one. Let's film him. And let's not tell him that we're going to put it online either. Let's just film it and put it up there. Dirty. They don't care about no birthrights. They're jealous of the fame and nobility. Drew Ali told you. They're jealous of the fame and nobility. What does that mean? That they want the spotlight. They want to be the #1 guy up in the front on camera all the time. But they're not teaching anybody anything. They're just on camera. Just to be on camera. You know what I mean? Some of them are good. Some of them are finesse masters. You know what I mean? They'll give you gems. They'll give you gems. But then when you go check the record, you find out that certain people come from the line of the Moors that killed the Prophet. Then they don't see a problem with that. Like, they don't see a problem with, okay, I'm saying I'm, Armageddon Bay. And I'm Armageddon Bay, and I joined the Moorish Science Temple of America, I've been in this, feathers up, robes and ribbons, sash, turban, jewel, and all that type of stuff, Quran, you got this. Some people come from, oh yeah, temple number, whatever. Weird. Our whatever is whoever. How come the name of your guy, that's the head of whatever, is in FBI papers as the agent? Oh, you're a dirty Moor, we can't talk to you because, when the truth is, they're in the FBI papers. They're so bait. They're so bait, right? That they thought, you know what I mean? They thought that they can, side with the Europeans, you know what I mean? Get some little, whatever, fame and nobility, get notoriety. And have the people think that they're some legitimate whatever because they got a big mausoleum. They got a big mausoleum and people are honoring that. Oh, he must have been the reincarnated because mausoleum. He must be the reincarnated prophet because he got mausoleum. Right? It's for Moors, you know what I mean? This United States compliance crap that with this Michael Brown shooting thing, this is a good little read just so we can have more stuff to show these people how asinine their perspective is, because black in this for days and all they're talking about is the abuse they get and they don't get it. Like, you're getting abused because you call yourself black. No, because I'm African, whatever. Alright, take abuse then. Take abuse then. Because, the lions really don't care what the sheep say, personally. Deer, whatever it is. You know, when hunger time comes, you're getting chased down and eaten. Simple. Right. Right. That's why Jolly said, you gotta set this first. So the lion and the lamb could, be in yonder hills and nobody's gonna get harmed. Everybody chilling. Why? Because everybody's gonna have nationality. Then you realize that you can't just go around just choke people out on the corner anymore. Because they got nationality. International community backs them if you touch them. But they don't want that, because no Jolly funny hat guy, he's just a black guy trying to tell me I'm Muslim, and I'm a black power or whatever. Clown. Right? So um, academia.edu notes on MSTA schisms in Detroit and Pittsburgh, printed for the East Coast Moorish Men's Brotherhood Summit, Baltimore, Maryland, March 29th to 31, 2013. Notes on the MSTA schisms in Detroit and Pittsburgh. And this is by Patrick B. Bowen, Bowen. And his email is pbowen303@gmail.com. You might want to just send him an email when you hear something. Now we have an issue with the Moors, right? And the issue with the Moors, Moors that are coming into this, that want to, do something, uphold the Prophet, the faithful Moors, right? The issue is, how come we don't have nothing? How come the Moors don't have anything that the Moors could say is the Moors stuff? Like, why don't we have our own stuff? Like, we had a paper, but, can't get that. Like, how come you can't get that? Right? In September 1927, James Lomax, or Lomax Bey, who had earlier been in charge of the Grand Temple in Chicago, was officially made Detroit's agent of the Moorish Temple of Science. All available evidence suggests that for about the next 14 to 15 months under Lomax, the Detroit Temple flourished, experiencing both significant growth and financial profit through owning several businesses, including 2 combination grocery stores, meat markets, a laundry, and a printing press. In the Moorish movement. Remember, this is around the time Noble Drew Ali is alive still. This is 1927. Noble Drew Ali is still around. Right? Still around. Okay? This temple in Detroit flourished because they owned several businesses. Several businesses. 2 combination grocery store and meat market. So a grocery store and meat market in one. 2 of those. A grocery store in 1927 in Detroit, where it's bankrupt right now. Bankrupt right now. Have nothing. When Noble Drew Ali was around, we had our own grocery stores there and printing press. And we're only going to blame the European? Why we don't have anything? When the real problem is inside the Moorish movement? And Noble Drew Ali warned us that these Moors on the inside are going to make you not even know I was here. Keep going back to all these people. Keep going back to all these people, right? Who died not knowing their birthright. And they were in the temple. They died knowing that they're just Moors, let's go pay tickets. We're Moors, let's go vote and taxes. We're Moors, let's, whatever, and keep this democracy afloat. All these issues people having in, why do you think there's so much black people that make that claim? Because that was part of the infiltration. Keep the black stuff alive. Because feeding Rome. That's Rome's food, Negro black colored. That's their financial food. That's their energy food. That's their, if they want organs or something like that, they want that. If they want to make melatonin pills or whatever like that, they just, put something in the water and these people, kill all them people, tribe or whatever, steal all their pineal glands for their little personal rituals or whatever. So black is a hot commodity to the democracy. Black is a hot commodity, right? Hot. So we had all these things in the Moorish movement, and then there's nothing right now. Well, there's nothing right now because of inside people who are in the FBI papers. Thousands of pages upon pages for years after Noble Drew Ali died. Years. FBI papers talking about everything that was going on at the temple during the time of the infiltration. It's like some type of soap opera or something like that when you read the stuff. People telling on people baby mob stuff or whatever like that. Yo, madness. You know what I mean? No wonder people were jumping ship on this. All that madness there going on, no wonder people were like, you know what? No way. We can't do it. We can't do it. I gotta get out of this thing because this thing is gonna damage me. So we have an obligation. We have an obligation as faithful Moors. Oh yeah, Drew Ali told you, if you keep your faithfulness. If you really think that you're done with the Prophet, you better times that times 999,999, and then come again. Because only a handful is going to be saved. That means there's mad dirty people out there. Only a handful is going to be saved. That's our issue. The unfaithful. Because, let the dead bury the dead. Negro black colored, they're, you know what I mean? That's washed up. All you got to do is send off the flare. That one guy who comes like, yo, I seen the flare. What's going on over here? That's the guy. Let's go. Put that guy on some info and then you and him take over the whole state wherever you're at. And shut down all these demonocracy centers. Shut them all down. just 2 Moors, just 5 Moors, just because their stuff is so dead, right? Because remember, all those, you know, the so-called Negro black colors that are clinging on, you know what I mean? They got the strong fingers and they could hold on while the stuff passes or whatever. You might be able to get some after the wrath of Allah or whatever, but, you know, during the wrath, if you're not in this, right? If you don't have a foundation, you will blow away like everything else that's being destroyed around here, right? Rice University, the Moorish Science Temple of America, a study exploring the foundations of African American Islamic thought and culture by Paul Easterling, Doctor of Philosophy, Houston, Texas, December 2012. Page 48. Moreover, there is an issue that presents itself when discussing the benefits of the presence of the Moors in Iberia. That is, patterns of history reflect the fact that most occupying forces, while bringing a measure of civility, growth, and technology, are oppressive to the indigenous population of the land they are occupying. However, there is no evidence of any form of mass oppression, holocaust, or genocide concerning culture or religion in Spain, save for the Spanish Inquisition, organized and executed by Catholics in an effort to eradicate the heresy of Islam from the Spanish population. In spite of their contributions to Spanish and Portuguese cultural development, the Moors were removed from their land, stripped of their property, and often physically brutalized in the process. In 1480, the Inquisition was established to oversee conversos and eradicate heresies. This Gestapo-like organization held vague and unrestricted powers. Accused persons were actually considered guilty until proven innocent. Sound familiar, black guy? Spanish Inquisition, black guy, all over again. And the accused person's property was permanently confiscated to defray court costs. Sound familiar, black guy? Get pulled over for, you know, light out or something like that, and they tow your stuff. Again, while the record of violence against their Moorish occupiers is an infamous event in Spanish history, there are no similar narratives, records, or stories of Moors treating the natives of Iberia or Catholics in such a manner. Right? Same thing we talked about last night, trading places. Quick swap. Remember, this is Rice University or whatever, right? This is what he's putting in for his Doctor of Philosophy to his, just so you could, you know, if you really want to just, you know, call the professors to find out, you know. Hold on a second. You guys trying to say that the Moors occupied some Europeans? But Spain belonged to the Moors. Spain didn't belong to some Europeans. No. Dr. Anthony B. Pinn, Pinn. Agnes Cullen, Cullen. Dr. Michael O. Emerson, and Radoslav, Radoslav, A. Sanoff, Tsanoff. Dr. Elias Bongba, Bong, MBA, and Harry and Hazel Chavanne, Chavanne. That's all the professors, you know, that signed on to this. On one hand, because of the technology they brought to Spain, quote-unquote Moors were heralded as nobles. Oh, let's read that part again. Because, the professor signed off on this. That means he got his doctorate. On this point, scholars argue the image of the Moors in Spain may have been a driving force for their expulsion. On one hand, because of the technology they brought to Spain, quote-unquote Moorish science Moors were heralded as nobles. However, as the Spanish came to be more and more indignant toward the Moorish occupation, they were painted in a different light. Israel Burshatin, Burshatin, in the article The Moor in the Text, Metaphor, Emblem, and Silence. Right? So Israel Burshatin, Israel, Burshatin, and the article is called The Moor in the Text, Metaphor, Emblem, and Silence. Explains images of the Moors in Spain fell between two extremes. On the vilifying side, Moors are hateful dogs, miserly, treacherous, lazy, and overreaching. On the idealizing side, the men are noble, loyal, heroic, courtly. They even mirror the virtues that Christian knights aspire to. Not that Christian knights are, but that Christian knights aspire to. Because not all knights are Christians. Right? For the MSTA, it was this vilification that led to their expulsion from Spain. Moreover, from the Moorish American perspective, the onset of the Spanish Inquisition was due to the sins to which the Moors fell prey. According to Pleasant Bay, the Moors, right? Okay. According to Pleasant Bay, the Moors were becoming very complacent while in Spain and were allowing themselves to be taken away, spiritually speaking, from the true tenets of Islamism. He states, Moors knew nothing about these gods with such powers of allurement, but have cores of lewdness, murder, theft, and harmfulness. Many Moors had become Christians, Spaniards, Romans, French, British, Irish, etc., and had misplaced their keys to civilization, and had become disrespectful to Islamism. It seems for Pleasant Bay, the Spanish Inquisition represents a punishment by Allah because the Moors forgot who they were. This pattern of divine punishment will present itself again with regards to the Middle Passage as a way to explain the failures or moments of weaknesses by the Moors. Furthermore, the Spanish Inquisition is one example of the efforts taken by Christians to rid themselves of Moors. The Christians endeavored to reconquer their land in the name of their deity. In the process of this reconquest, many Moors were tortured, many were expelled, but many were also enslaved. And then you're gonna get a book or an article by A.J.R. Russell Wood. A.J.R. Russell Wood. And the article is called Iberian Expansion and the Issue of Black Slavery. And as well, another one of his references, right? So he has, for this page right here, page 50, He has Israel Bershatin, the Moor in the text, metaphor, emblem, and silence. Elahi Pleasant Bay, exhuming a nation, biography of Noble Drew Ali, and Jose Pimenta Bay, our fellow children in the New World. Right? Now we just wanted to put something on the record for all the Moors that are um, for all the Moors that are in so-called Europe, so-called Britain, UK, England, Germany, right? We're just going to do this, we're just going to show this, right? Just to remind you, just to remind you. Okay? Remember, just remember all these. Just have these, remember, thinking. Think and save yourself. Think and save yourself. That's not Kujo says, Noble Ali said that. So, okay, so we can, be thorough, or so we can be moral. Let's just give you some more, just so you have a broad base to work with, right, when we read what we're about to read next. Right? So we have a broad base to work with. All these are European crests. Okay? All these European crests. All these. Right? All the Moors worldwide that are up at 2 a.m. or whatever listening to Moorish Heritage and History School on Tuesday morning, right? Just remember all these, okay? Just remember those. MariaMoore.com, MariaMuir.com. British Parliament and the Crown will cease to exist in November, October 27, 2014. British Parliament and the Crown will cease to exist when the Lisbon Treaty comes into full effect on the 1st of November 2014. Power will no longer reside in Westminster but in Brussels. The right of the British Parliament to legislate over us in 43 areas will be removed and be made subject to approval by qualifying majority voting or QMV. There are 43 areas that will be affected where Parliament will be unable to carry out policy changes, amendments, or repealing. Each member state will lose the right of veto, constitutional right to reject a decision or proposal made by a lawmaking body, exercise a veto against a decision or proposal. The Lisbon Treaty. The Treaty of Lisbon, initially known as the Reform Treaty, is an international agreement which amends the two treaties which form the constitutional basis of the European Union and signed on 13 December 2007 and entered into force on the 1st of December 2009. The signing of the Lisbon Treaty is treason and can be proven with the Bill of Rights of 1689 and still in force. It by definition cannot be removed, changed, signed away by anyone, least of all Parliament. Declaration of Indigenous Peoples of the Isles of Britain. When the British Parliament and Crown cease to exist, it is the supremacy of the indigenous peoples that come into immediate and factual existence. Remember, they're saying indigenous, we're thinking all those crests that we saw. We're not thinking what they see today say indigenous. We're thinking about the crest that we saw. All those crests with Moors on them. That's in our mind state every time. That's our visualization every time they're referring to British Isles, Germany, whatever, and they say indigenous, right? At this point, people can either continue as a citizen under the European Union or declare themselves as a sovereign indigenous man under the jurisdiction of natural law. On the 1st of November at Stonehenge, a declaration for the indigenous people of the Isles of Britain will be read by Nami Diaz, and anyone can turn up and support the declaration. The Europeans, huh? Right? What are they doing? Stealing the Moors' birthright, just like the sovereign citizens are doing over here. Making a, declaration to God because, they're the man of the land and all this madness. When all they got to do is just, naturalize under the Moors. And, be a Moorish subject. Not slavery, don't worry. You know what I mean? Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Like, take the freedman idea, take it to the, Britain Isles, right? And then go to Stonehenge. Go to Stonehenge and make a declaration. Go to Stonehenge. Some Europeans. I thought they don't recognize Moors though. I thought they don't recognize Moorish culture. I thought they don't recognize, Aboriginal indigenous rights and whatever like that. But they're making public declarations at Stonehenge. Now, this is their declaration now, right? For all the Moors who are in so-called UK, whatever like that, they don't know what to do because, this is, how do we, blah, 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 right? Okay. This is some of the stuff in their stuff. This is their declaration. We, the indigenous peoples, reclaim our ancient birthrights and customs from the treasonous elites who have hidden the same from us for generations, seeking to enrich themselves from our common resources at the expense of ensuing poverty of the peoples whom have become enslaved in the system set up for the elite's sole benefit. We, the indigenous people, see and understand our connection to all other indigenous people and understand our rights and duties to one another without recourse to the guiding hands of treasonous, profiteering political elites or supposed monarchs. Supposed monarchs. The proclamation of we the peoples of the land is duly made here at Stonehenge, a sacred ancient site of the peoples, which has been stolen from our care and control and used as a revenue source for the blatant theft of other ancient sites from us the people. Herewith we reclaim this site and demand that the barriers to free access be removed forthwith to allow us once again to gather in reverence to the laborer's knowledge and power source built here by our forebears. Moreover, we the indigenous peoples demand the like return of all sites now controlled and denied to us. Moreover, we the indigenous people recognize that various trusts have been established to control these sites, supposedly for the people, by the de facto government of the UK. As the rightful owners and beneficiaries of these trusts, we hereby dissolve all such trusts, which with immediate effect all profits and proceeds of these trusts to be made immediately available to the indigenous peoples for the establishment of the necessary apparatus to inform all inhabitants of this land of their real position as indigenous people. We, the indigenous people, will accept all who wish to join us, and upon their leaving the society of force and profiteers, we will adopt them into the indigenous people's body as equal in all ways to ourselves. That's where they're going, out there. So Moors Drawley laid it down, told the Moors, what they got to do, and all the Moors have to do is do that. And once the Moors do that, you're going to start seeing stuff changing around here. Like, we never thought it would change. Just because recognizing nationality and birthrights, and recognizing that everybody else in the world is doing this. Everybody else's position is get whoever they know or whatever to be indigenous. Get them to go back to the ancient customs of the, forebearers. Because they recognize that it's up, right? They recognize that it's over, right? And then just got a text from Grand Sheet Natural Bay, put it on the record. MoorishGuidepost.org is the new website, so we're going to plug in that now as well, as RV Bay Publications and everybody else that we like to plug since we're biased. So the next one on the list now is MoorishGuidepost.org, Grand Sheet Nature and them's new website, hot off the press for the Moors. Who how come there's no temple there? We need to find a good temple to on this side. There you go, Grand Sheet Nature Bay and the active Moors of Great Seal Moorish Science Temple of America. So, see what's good with some questions, because there was some. When we realize more that it's over for these people, and they're just hanging on because, you would hang on too if you're dangling, from something. You're not just gonna let go, plummet to your death or whatever. You hold on for as long as you can, and they're holding on for as long as they can. And a lot of their holding on is because of us not, doing like Brother Rutherford and backing down these dirty Moors who killed the Prophet, come around talking about they gotten some knowledge for you or whatever, and letting Negro black color people know that, they are not Negro black color people, that they are indeed Moors. And just simple as telling them, look at yourself. Look at yourself. Just look at yourself. And making sure that it's children that we're addressing. Young people. Forget anybody your age and older. Talk to somebody younger than you, because that's who really needs to get this. Right? That's who needs to get this. Okay? Somebody sent me something about more haters. somebody named Jonathan Owens, casual, from, you know, hieroglyphics, you know what I mean? And Amen Ross Squad, and talking about Neo Moors, and you know, they're claiming to be, you know, these Egypt guys and whatever like that, but you know, when you ask them for their nationality card, they can't show you nationality card for whoever they claim to be. If you say that you're the ancient gods or whatever, show me a nationality card that says that. If that's your nation, you're a black nation, where's your black nation nationality card? Or you're a Garveyite nation, where's the Garveyite nationality card? Hebrew nation, where's the Hebrew nationality card? Oh, Nation of Islam, where's you guys' nationality card? If you don't have a nationality card, don't talk nationhood. Don't talk about anything to do with flags and culture and ancient whatever. Don't even bring it up. You know what I mean? Stop gaming people, because all you guys know that you don't have any ID that says who you say you are in your whatever videos that you have on YouTube. All you guys got licenses. All of you got licenses. And if you don't have a license, got suspended, right? But next line down, you got that. Guaranteed. Let's go check their pockets. Guaranteed. Bank card, whatever, something. They got something with strawman name on it. Now, when you check it, you know, no rights reserved, no UCC, no without prejudice, you know, no for full colon, you know, no on behalf of or nothing like that. They're signing away. But they're conscious, and they have something for people out here. And people should be listening to them. When you ask them for their ID, they're going to give you a license, not the name, with not the name from their YouTube video, or you know, whoever, whatever personage, you know, they made up to try swindle people into getting down with their madness that they're doing. Right? Distractions, anything to get you away from the prophet, anything. Right? Um, these questions coming up now are from Brother Kenny Al. Oh, um, uh, how do we operate within the existing system with our Moorish nationality status? Do Moors still have to access? Do Moors still have access to use the benefits of the existing system, i.e., health cards, SIN, insurance, employment benefits, and things of that nature? Health cards, SIN numbers, insurance, employment benefits, and things of that nature, all those things guarantee, more than likely, 100% is in a straw man name. So, Drew Ali told the Moors, leave all old business as it is and do all business going forward in your free national name. That was 1929. In this age right now, like we told the Moors, and we're going to keep telling the Moors, and oh yeah, now you can go to the website, moorishguidepost.org. You're going to go email Grand Sheet Nature, and you're going to go get the book called Due Process of Law 1 and 2, and you're going to get the book How to Live Within Contracts. And that's how do we operate within the existing system with our Moorish nationality status. You learn how to live within contracts. You have your nationality, you know what that is, you always know what that is, you're always studying that. That does not leave your side. That doesn't, you know what I mean? That stays with you at all times. Depending on who you're dealing with, you present it. If you're compromised and you have to contract, learn how to live within contracts, reserve your rights on it, make alterations, amendments, whatever, you know what I mean? Because, you know, you have the right to contract in your own land, you know. And you continue to study. Because, you know, people, too many people take the position of, I found out about my nationality today, and then tomorrow I'm gonna go tell the world that I'm a Moor, and they don't even know Noble Drew Ali's name before Noble Drew Ali, right? They couldn't quote you something out of the Quran, but they wanna know about trust and all this type of stuff. You know, Drew Ali said put him up front. So if you don't know him, then he's not gonna be up front, which is why these people don't have Noble Drew Ali up front. When they come to you, they give you a flyer. And flyer says, yeah, come to the Moor Science Temple of America. We have the whatever. And there ain't no picture of the prophet in this thing at all. They give you a card and Noble Drew Ali's not on there. It's just them pushing their agenda. You already know. Stop wasting your time. Right? So, yeah. Now, second question. Once we have made a name correction, do we cease using our straw man name and transfer all our affairs to the name of the ancestors, or are we able to do both names depending on the nature of the affair? What is the proper way for a Moor in dealing with this issue? Same thing. You know who you are, free Moorish American, whatever. You know that you have a prophet. If you know that you have a prophet, you know that he said, keep all old business as it is and go forward using your free national name. From when you recognize that you're not Negro, Black, Colored, you're Moor, and you've done your name correction and you put it on the public record. Till then, do the straw man thing, learn how to live within contracts, reserve your rights at all times when dealing with these people, because they are criminals, right? They will lift your signature, put it on other documents, and sell those to countries who, have fiat to get rid of. Right? And then they're going to take the fiat after they sell your signature and use the fiat to violate you. That's why you reserve your rights on the contract, so that when you get violated, you could make some claims. Because you can't make claims if you don't have rights. That's why you reserve them on the contract, because that's not you. This is our straw man name. There's no such thing as our straw man name, because we didn't create that straw man. That's their stuff. That's their straw man. So identify it as their straw man. It's not ours, because we think our name's on it, so it's ours. It's not ours. Um, the term "reserve my rights." What does that phrase term mean? If you look that up, it'll give you so much stuff about reserve your rights that you could write a book about reserve your rights after you do some research on it. And you don't even need 5 years research on reserve your rights. 20 minutes, just check out what it is. Everybody does it. Movie people do it. Song people do it. Everybody who has some type of logo, whatever, trademark, whatever, they reserve their stuff. But we've been in the dark so long because of dirty Moors not telling people what this is, that we thought law meant nothing. That's only for lawyers, and that's only for attorneys and judges and people who work at the court. And law has nothing to do with me in real life or whatever. When gravity is law, and sound is law, and vibration is law, and there's all these laws that we govern by, but we don't want to get down with law, right? So we would know reserve my rights 5 years old, opposed to 40, just finding out how to live within contracts, right? Because really it's about study. Right? Can you explain at all possible the reason law and history seems to be rooted in the Moorish divine and national movement? Right? Comes again. with Noble Drew Ali. Now the question again is, why is law and history rooted in the Moorish divine and national movement? Now, when you go to some of the readings of Noble Drew Ali, right? He was putting the Moors in a place where they can start thinking for themselves and not have to be guessing, believing stuff and whatever, right? There's two things that you probably get them online. One of them is the industrious acts of the Muslims of Northwest and Southwest Africa. So that's one writing by Noble Drew Ali, that you can get. It's out there. Okay? The industrial acts of the Muslims. And the second one is Moorish leaders' historical message to America. Right? Now, when you read those two writings, you tell me if law and history aren't the foundation of the point he's trying to make to you in reading that. That there's a direct relationship between law and history. Right? Just by reading that, just read that. And think. Read that and think. The point of everything that we're talking about today is not just put information out or whatever. It's to stress more for us to think more, so we can save ourselves. Because, this is your birthright. It's not Kudro giving you your birthright. This is your birthright that you dropped way back there. And we're just telling you, good thing you had a string. Just pull the string and bring the birthright to you, and, be yourself. Stop playing around. Because it's real simple. It's not advanced how people make it. It's only advanced because we're comparing it to some Back to Africa movement where, we couldn't wrap our mind how we got over here on a slave ship, but we went with it. And now we're trying to apply that concept where, I can't get how I'm Moors, but, I'm not black, so I guess I'll be a Moor. When guessing about being a Moor. Right? Oh, yeah. One sec, Moors. Right, so no guessing about being a Moor. Study and be what you know. No guessing to be a Moor. Study and be what you know. Because this is the individual's birthright. This is not who you like on YouTube and they inspire you so much to say that you're a Moor. This is your birthright. Your birthright. Look that up too. Right? As a Moor looking to follow in the path of our ancestors, what would be the best and most efficient path to take in understanding and applying the tools Prophet Noble Drew Ali prepared for the Moorish divine and national movement? Again, if you're in Canaanland, you got a temple out here that you could go to, right? So, 2533A, Eglinton Avenue West, that's the temple address. Kiel and Eglinton, just east of Kiel on Eglinton Avenue West. You see the big flag in the window, you'll know where the spot is. Fridays 7 to 9, Saturdays 12 to 5, and Sundays depends. Most times 4 to 7. Sometimes we're there early, right, when we have meetings or whatever. Um, come to the temple, support the spot. Whatever you need, we got there. Ample amounts of Moors that are there. Um, that all got to experience because, we don't teach following around here. We teach be what you know. If you know crystals, then you better be doing some classes on some crystals or something like that up in our temple because, that's what you know. If you know how to, you know, fix plumbing and all that, you don't be seeing leaking water while running out the temple and you're not going to go in the back and fix the stuff because, you be what you know, right? So, once you come around, you'll see the path. You know what I mean? But for now, till you come, rvbaypublications.com, um, um, morrisciviletter.net, Morris, CIVILETTER.net, morrisguideposts.org, and when we connect, we'll give you some more of those. And last question, how does Treaty of Peace and Friendship, American Constitution, and other important historical documents apply to us in Canaanland with regard to Canadian Charter of Rights and laws that govern us in Canaanland? Well, Canadian Charter of Rights is part of the Constitution Act, which is not law and doesn't govern us. That governs the employees of this corporation called Canada. American Constitution, Treaty of Peace and Friendship apply to quote-unquote Canada or Canaanland because Canada is part of North America. And the jurisdiction above Mexico in North America is Morocco, which Canada is part of that. Right? So the idea is to go back to the ancient foremothers and forefathers mindset and be that. Because once you be that, then you're being instead of just knowing. And when you start being Treaty of Peace and Friendship, when you start being the American Constitution, because you recognize that these things are not just written on paper, parchment, or whatever. It's actually divine in its application. It wasn't any fluke that they came up with those stuff. Like stars had to be aligned properly, and the individual signing had to be on a certain frequency, vibration, etc. It's not just some historical documents. There's a lot of esoteric knowledge embodied in the creation of those particular documents. Right? So yeah, so if those aren't answered, you could just send another email. But this will be uploaded to YouTube and it's going to be here too. So on Ustream, so you can go back to it and work from there. Regarding AA222141, it is classified as diplomatic immunity registration number, and does it replace the SSN? Also, the Bureau of Diplomatic Security put out this memo that it is enforceable by Moors as well. Are tax exemption numbers and exemption identification numbers the same thing? And does AA 222141 trump all that? Also, regarding discharging debts and adhesing contracts, I've heard that putting it under an express trust is advised as opposed to a living trust. Also, Alim Bey recommends using UCCs, but my understanding is that the use of UCCs other than for all rights reserved are nothing but contract traps. Could trusts as they relate to Moorish American nationals be explained? What has been the process of Moors using their nationality cards as passports? Are they asked a series of questions right before a flight? Do they send paperwork prior to coming in the airport to facilitate process? Okay. I know personally of one more that got on a plane with a nationality card. I know um, personally of one more that came over the so-called border with Moorish tags, right? Um, I know ample amounts of Moors that use that Moorish nationality card as their ID for whatever it is that they do. Whether they try to go, go on a plane or whatever, I don't know. Um, but the exercising of your rights is based on what you know. Be what you know means that you better know what the hell you're doing when you do something. Because if you don't, these people are swiping at your head. And it's not their fault if you lose your head. It's your fault for doing something you're not supposed to be doing because you're not there. So if you don't know how to answer the series of questions that they're going to ask you when you show the nationality card, try to get on a plane, don't go try use no nationality card to get on a plane. Because, again, when when we go to Moorish National Republic, for example, right? And they have the international proclamation, right? For the Moors on there. It's saying greetings from the Moorish nation. It's not saying greetings from some group of Moors or greetings from an individual. It's greetings from the nation. So if you're a part of the Moorish nation, you better know what you're doing. You better know what this is for real, being quote unquote a Moor. If you don't know, slow down if you don't know, and go study, because you're only gonna be what you know. You're only gonna exercise what you know. If you exercise something and then you have a question, you're in error. And you better pray that they don't try to take your head, because you're vulnerable at that point. Because they know that they can throw any type of ball and you're not hitting it. Any ball. They can throw anything. You're not hitting it. Right over the plate, straight down the middle. Slowest pitch ever. And you do the swing 500 times and get 800 strikeouts before catcher catches the stuff. And then you say these guys using trick ball and all this. Well, nah, you are even out there. Or you're swinging at stuff. Right? So, don't play the try stuff with Moorish nationality. You guarantee you're going to get injured. Guaranteed. Right? Guaranteed. Right? Don't try. Either you know and you exercise, either you know and then push the thing, right, to make it move and cut the grass, or you don't know what the hell you're doing. You're turning stuff upside down on, playing with the blade and stuff like that. Cut all your fingers off. And want to know what happened, right? So don't do the trying stuff. Yeah, this information is, you know what I mean? Like, it's real, you know. When you go check all your stuff, You know, you check all your bills that's coming in the mail, check all the cards that you got, everything's in all capital letters. Like, damn, he's actually right, everything's in all capital letters or whatever. I just reserve my right to see what happens on this thing. You know, reserve my rights, and you know they accept it. Like, oh, accept it. I did that before. They, oh, this must be real. All right, let's try to get on this plane. No, don't even pull those ones. Because trust me, when you get yourself in something, nobody can help you after that. You're on your own. Because you thought one man is island, and it's not about one man being island, right? So we're deliberately slowing people down because people getting injured because they're doing stuff that they're not supposed to be doing. So we're deliberately slowing. Yeah, we got answers. I can tell you who it is that did the passport and you know got through with a nationality card, no passport. You know, but go back and listen to all the different classes or whatever. It's one of them classes back there. You know, if you happen to find that two tries or something, that you know Allah probably wants you to try the stuff. You know, see if you know. So I put the name out there, but because the question was asked, not putting the name out there. But yeah, there's a Moor who did it. Matter of fact, they took somebody off the plane to put him on. That's all we were missing. They took somebody off. They held up the plane first of all. You know what I mean? Because he was adamant about getting on the plane. They're like, okay, whatever. And you know, we broke it down to him what it was, what it is. You know what I mean? And they went and got somebody off the plane to put him on it. Just so you know. Um, discharging debts and adhesion contracts. Um, putting it under express trust is advised as opposed to a living trust. Okay, well, if you're talking express trust, that's Noble Drew Ali. Noble Drew Ali already did that for the Moors. See why he said put him up front? Because now, let's just say now, you know, forget Noble Drew Ali and you go dabbling, dibbling into trust now, right? Then you doing all this, you find out there's all this information about trust or whatever like that. Oh yeah, you know, you set up a trust and do this, do that, blah blah blah, and you set up all this stuff. Yeah, and everything's good, but you know, you're gonna have a situation. Why? Because Noble Drew Ali is in nothing that you're doing, and the fact that he's in nothing that you're doing, obviously, you work for the democracy because you know it's either you're with the prophet or you're against him. There's no, well, I'm with him today, but tomorrow, you know, I feel like it because, you know, I didn't like what he read right there, said, you know, right? If we stick with Noble Drew Ali, our questions would be answered. People like to rush ahead, you know what I mean? You know, it's like we're doing the portrait now and say, you know, 10 suicides. What? Yeah, you want to play, you're a baller and all that stuff. Okay, 10 suicides. And you know, guys trying to finish first and all that stuff. You know, and then the one guy who's the athlete, you know, pacing himself, you know what I'm saying, whatever. Pace yourself. It's not no race. Try to finish last. You know, because you will finish last if you take this like a race. You know, and then what's that coming from? You know, that's the race game accelerated because we're Moors now. So things are gonna be moving faster than they were when we were Negro black colored mentally. Right? When as a Moor, the concept of race is a sport. A guy against a guy against a guy and they have lanes or whatever, that's race. You know, black guy and all that stuff, race is, you know, how I look and, you know, my identity and whatever like that. Right? So you don't want to be racing as a Moor. There's nothing to race about. You know what I mean? Pace yourself. You don't need to know about trust and all that stuff. Again, if you don't know Noble Drawley's birthday, you can't tell me, you know, three adepts who were around Noble Drawley during Noble Drawley's time. You know, temple was incorporated. Where? What is the date? You don't know that stuff there? Don't worry about no trust or nothing like that. Study Noble Drawley because he was a mastermind. He wasn't some, you know, black guy just coming and bringing us some stuff. He was a mastermind. Study him, focus on the teachings that he presented to you, right? You know, build with Moors. You'll get information by communicating with other Moors that are on like frequencies with yourself, you know. And you'll know who those Moors are, because as soon as you talk with them, you already know, like, yeah, I mean, I've been known this Moor, you know, millions of years. You just connected back again. You know? And then that's the more that you build with. You have your personal conversation with, you exchange ideas with, and whatever like that. And trust me, your stuff will, you know, you'll find out about Express Trust tomorrow and all that. Not even know. Because, you know what I mean? It's just like that. You know? Because, you know, like, we can give answers to these questions, but answers to those questions are going to get you going in that direction, which you don't want to go there. You don't want to go there, go study and trust and all that stuff, go get lost in that. When you don't even know, you know, 101 questionnaire. What's a 101 questionnaire? You know, what's on the back of it? You know, what's on the last page of the questionnaire? Is that part of the questionnaire? Do you even know what I'm talking about? You don't know about that stuff that Noble Drawley brought. Don't worry about trust and plates and, you know, all these things that, all these alluring things, the things that are alluring to be a Moor. Or if I'm a Moor, I could, you know, put on my nationality card and, you know, get free stuff. And then you go to cashier and, yeah, what's a Mexum? Huh? What's a Mexum? What do you mean? Oh, it's on the nationality card right there. You know, the Mexum. Yeah, but what is it? You can't answer? Probably shouldn't even got that card yet. So, do not. And then with regard to Alim Bey recommends using UCCs, you know, and right, because he studied that. He knows that. Be what you know. He knows UCC, so he can go do it if he wants to do it. Because he knows it. He studied it to know. If you go to him to find out about UCCs, you're probably going to get something that you don't want. You know. Remember, like he got degrees and stuff. So more science wasn't really hard for him to accept. Like he already had the outside information. More science was just filling in the gap. You know what I mean? Like Alim got degrees. That's not just more off the street or whatever. Found out about Moors and he just came out of prison and you know what I mean? He's the guy. He got degrees. He's not an idiot. You know what I mean? So he can do that. Because he studied that. He studied UCCs to know what to do and what not to do. And you know, servant's worthy of his hire. Like if he's gonna say, you know, UCC classes, whatever, hey, you know, like if he's done stuff in that and you know, and UCC is not no joke because you know UCC books like this big and there's like 10 books or something like that. You know, so it's not, you know, it's not like Like, one Noble Drew Ali bought, some little books like this. People trying to say, oh yeah, you got little books like this, $20 for a book or whatever, you know, right? Servant is worthy of his hire. Could trust as they relate to Moorish American nationals be explained? Once again, come back to the same thing that, you know, look up trust. Real simple. Because it's conceptual. It's not a thing that somebody has, ownership on. It's just like land. Why you gonna say, oh yeah, I own the land? You don't own the land. How you own land? You know what I mean? That's not reasonable. Yeah, you can um you can occupy it, you can use it, um, but you can't own it per se. Because, land doesn't belong to anybody. Nobody never made land. A human being never made land. Say, oh yeah, land I own. You know. But just look up trust. And then just in that. And when you look up trust, not just law dictionary trust, but look up trust, you know, because trust is based on trust, not really a paper that you signed or whatever. Trust is really based on trust, right? Nobody really trusted the Moors, so he created a trust for them, and they're the beneficiaries of it. Especially the Moors that are faithful, you get everything that it takes to save a nation. Everything. Doesn't that mean that he trusts? If he brought you everything that it takes to save a nation, didn't hold anything back because he didn't think, whatever, right? Then, and this is why we're saying that use him. If you study him, you'll get to the answers of how to do a trust, how to have plates, how to whatever. All the answers are in his stuff. He gave us specific information, right, to get us out of mental slavery. Specific info, right? The information that he gave us was extremely specific to us getting out of mental slavery. And knowing about it, knowing about trust and knowing about you know diplomatic immunity and all these things are part of getting us out of mental slavery because we never even conceived these things before. Come back to the same thing. It's okay to think. You know, we're not saying do stuff yet. We're talking about just the thinking part. It's okay to have questions and try to answer them. Like it's okay to do that, right? Because what's that gonna do? If you're trying to answer your own question, then that means you're studying. Well, it was Noble Drawley said, study, study, study. So if we can get one study out of the way, we did good. Some more can't even get half of a study out the way, much less all three. And then after that, study yourself after that. You know. So when we build, you know what I mean, we'll deal with particular questions one on one. Because put stuff out there, like what like all these more, there's so stuff out there, with regard to processes and all that stuff. Without they're not throwing Noble Drew Ali out there like that. But if you go to their online university, whatever, they'll teach you the process of how to file the stuff, and then when you file it, then you can get the number for all this. Then it's not all that complicated. It's simple. Everything that these people ever gave you, SS, social this, drivers, whatever, birth, this and that, All those things void ab initio. Void from their inception. Why? Because all of them are linear contracts. All of them are adhesion contracts. All of them are contracts that things weren't explained to you what means in them or whatever like that. We just sign stuff. You know? And then we come to knowledge of self, real knowledge of self, and realize that all those stuff are fraud. Void. Nothing to do with them. And out here, with regard to the AA 222141 and the tax exemption diplomatic immunity number or whatever, out here they call it a band number. So band is like the jurisdiction of the Indian. So they make us fill out paper, you know, name, you know, tribe, number, tax exemption number, whatever like that. Staple that to the receipt and put that. Some of them just push the button on the computer, you know what I mean? Some of them actually put the number in. Some of them put the AA. Some don't. Regardless, you know, diplomatic immunity. You know, immune. Taxes don't apply because of status. Status is Aboriginal Indigenous to the land, Moorish American. You know, just doesn't apply. You know. So it's not a replacement of some number. So, you know, well, you know, since the social is theirs and we have our, you know, then we'll just use that as, you know, when, you know, yeah, kind of, you know what I'm saying? It could be used like that in a sense, you know what I mean? But, you know, you don't want to be going in their stuff as a Moor when you have a straw in there that, you know, you could reserve your rights and use that will. And let them beat that up. You know, let them beat up your free national name and their madness. You know, let them use the straw. That's what it's there for. Just know that it's not yours. You know? Charleston, South Carolina. If or when I'm confronted with policy enforcers, realizing that our nationality card is just a piece of valuable plastic paper, wouldn't it be easier for me to make the policy enforcers aware of the Negro Law of South Carolina, 1848, which states that the term Negro is confined to the ancient Berbers, 1786 Treaty of Peace and Friendship, Egyptians, Negro, Asiatic, Lascars, and the Moors, and the petition from sundry free Moors on South Carolina state record, which clearly states no law of the state applies to them for better ordering Negroes and other slaves. And since I'm claiming my nationality, which clearly gives status and jurisdiction between us and on our nationality card, it clearly states nationality more American, how can they possibly still try to mess with me? Because they're colored and they're criminals. And everybody keeps forgetting that they're colored and they're criminals. And they'll violate you every day, whether you have nationality card or not. That's why you should be home studying. So you're not bumping into policy enforcers and, you know, well, what happens if I bump into, you know, if you're studying, you would have been home and you wouldn't be seeing those people. You know, yeah, you have to go buy milk. You know, milk's just right over there. Where you get in conveyance to go drive to get milk. It's a 5 minute walk, 10 minute walk or whatever. 15 minute walk, half-hour walk. You know, take a walk or whatever. You know, instead of just you know, you know, going to them, tell them about Negro laws or stuff. You think they don't know about Negro laws in South Carolina? You think they don't know about sundry free Moors? You think they don't know about all this stuff? What's the issue? The issue is not European. The issue is the people on our side of the nation that thought this was a joke and unreal. And instead of pushing what they're supposed to be pushing in South Carolina, they started pushing whatever else. Because if there's petition from sundry free Moors for South Carolina, right? And then there's Negro laws talking about Egyptians, Negro, Asiatic, Lascars, and all that type of stuff. Then they know. It's not a secret to them. They knew since 1848 or whatever. So if they know since 1848, why we gotta prove to them that we're Moors? How come we have to prove to them if they know? If we have all these family crests or whatever, right? And nature knows no color line, right? We have all these crests, right? Of all these Moor heads or whatever, of European names that are around today, that Europeans are using. Well, we gotta prove to them. The problem is, dirty Moors made us be black for 80 years, which is why they had Negro laws, which is why they had all these, you know what I mean, um, um, vantage points to abuse unconscious Moors through, right? Because dirty Moors, Moors who people are befriending, liking their stuff on Facebook, liking their stuff on Twitter, when they're down with the people who killed Noble Drew Ali. And then we're going to talk about, yeah, policy enforcers violating something, but you just like some guy's stuff who killed Noble Drew Ali? You don't think nature's going to look at people who's crashing into deers? They're going to diss active Moors, right? They're going to diss Moors who are doing something to actually try to change the vibration of these people out here for free, not even charging them anything, right? And then nature is going to make them drive into a deer, crash their car up. You think that this is some joke, right? You really think that you can go like some dirty Moor stuff on Facebook? Dirty. Why? Because they're down with the line of Moors that assassinated Noble Drew Ali. You don't know, like his stuff, but then want to know why you're getting arrested. Want to know why you're getting kidnapped. Want to know why all this stuff's happening to you. You know, why is Allah treating me like this or whatever? I'm a good Moorish American or whatever. You know, are you a good Moorish American when you're siding with dirty Moors who killed the Prophet? Openly. You're not even hiding. You're openly liking their stuff. You're openly befriending them. And then you realize that they're dirty and then you still like them and befriend them when you know that they're dirty too. Going against your own conscience, you don't think Mother Nature is going to step in and do something to you for that? So come back again to, you know, because like I'm saying, when my plates got jacked or whatever, and I realized that, oh, you guys play like that, I'll make sure I know what I'm doing before I do stuff. I'm going to go study. And from that time there, been on transit. Now see those people. I don't see policy enforcers. I don't even know what those are. I don't see them. They're not asking me no questions going in my pockets about anything. They're asking me to see no nationality card, nothing like that. Why? Because I don't see them. I avoid them at all costs. Because I know how they get down. Especially if it's a Moor. Right? That's my approach. I don't know about, showing them stuff and, verifying to them that whatever. You know what I mean? Because they know already. Yeah, so, the fact that you're trying to, like, let's say we take the position of, let's, you know, let's introduce, this unknowing policy enforcer to the fact of sundry free Moors, right? He knows that already. So you're punking him. You're punking him in front of his boy. That he just lost the bet. That I bet he's gonna give you one of those more. No, he's not. He's gonna give me his license. I'll make him give me a license, right? And this guy lost the bet. He's mad now. He's coming at you. Even though he knows he might not be able to do nothing physical to you, but you know, he'll hold you up for the day or whatever. You know what I mean? Might hit your window or whatever, bust your window up. You know what I mean? Now you gotta pay for that. You know, you got off all your stuff, but now you got busted window, you gotta pay for it. You still got the fiat. Just because you gotta just stay at home and study. You know, just like people who wanna go buy, you know, Skittles and stuff and then stuff happened to them. You gotta just stay at home and eat the crackers with peanut butter. You don't have no problem. But nah, they don't wanna go there, you know, because, you know, you have the right as a black man to go out there and go do stuff. Right, then yeah, do your stuff. You know, because when we start realizing that precedent's been set already. We're not trying to prove something to somebody about we're Moors. If you have to prove to somebody that you're a Moor, that's a supreme criminal. And you should get the hell out of their face, arm's reach, whatever, immediately. If you realize that, hey, this guy's not recognizing my birthright. 500 times we've been sending him stuff, and they're supreme criminals. They're color upon color upon color upon color upon color of law, color of authority, color of office, color of whatever, color of everything. They're it. Get the hell away from those people, because you might just see a cross burning on your lawn or whatever. You just might see a cross burning on your lawn, just because. They would, you know, when you say that you're a Moor, it's about test that guy ASAP. Let's see how serious he is about being a Moor. You know, oh yeah, you want to play, you want to fight against something? Oh, we called our policy enforcers because you didn't want to pay the $5 child support, and you want to get hyped, talk about no jurisdiction, whatever. All right, hold. Let's see how serious you are about birthrights. Hold. You can't kidnap me, you know, you went up. You ain't even trying to hear nothing because we own them. That's Rome. Well, you know, I filed some in the Library of Congress. We own that too. Four. You're more? Four. Bring them out again. Forget this. Remember, you know, Toby? Toby. Right? Remember Spanish Inquisition? Get you to not be Muslim, be Christian, and they do whatever they have to do. Draw and quarter, Iron Maiden, whatever they want to do, just to get you to say, okay, I'm Christian. Right? Why? Because it's occupation. It's be criminal. It's act criminal. And you know, the only way that we're gonna beat these people, right? The only way that we're gonna beat these people is not play the game. That's the only way. The only way we're gonna beat them is not play the game. But I get it. You know what I mean? You know, you don't exercise your birthrights. Like, why shouldn't you exercise your birthrights? Because you're 100 years behind. Go sit down somewhere and go study. You ain't telling me about your 2 years you've been studying more science or whatever, and you want your own place. And we're 100 years behind. Don't even do those ones to yourself, because you're doing it to yourself, right? Guaranteed, you're doing it to yourself. We're not telling you why you don't exercise your birthright. We're saying be what you know. If you don't know, don't be. If you don't know, don't be. If you're gonna go do something and you know you think, well, you know, if I get in a jam, I can just call the Moor and then the Moor will tell me whatever. Don't do whatever. Be what you know, because these people do not play, especially now where you know they're losing it all, right? They're losing it all. everything. They're almost at the point where they feel like throwing in the towel because like they lost. You know what I mean? When you see them selling Jaguar and stuff like that, you know that their stuff's done. You know their stuff's done. When they're openly telling you, yeah, city's bankrupt and all that stuff. We can't be in the sun and all that. You know what I mean? Make sure you take your suntan lotion outside. You know they're done. But the problem is that, Moors weren't telling their people about their birthright. Moors trying to convince Moors, you know, what's real, what's fake when, you know, they're from the line of Moors who killed the Prophet. When they talk about what's real and you listening to them. When they're from the line of the Moors that dissed the Prophet, dissed him, that's whatever. As soon as he gets out the way, jump into that seat. As soon as he gets out the way, I'm jumping in that seat. At the convention, I'm gonna go jump in the seat. Forget secret meeting or whatever. At the convention, I'm gonna go sit in the seat and claim that I am the prophet reincarnated. Follow me, right? And people are following them still. And then Moors, No Jolly said, "Be faithful, increase your faithfulness." And you know that these guys are out here, and you parring with them, and want to know how come your stuff don't work? How come my car doesn't work? How come they're kidnapping me or whatever? Because you're siding with dirty Moors. And Prophet knows where everybody is along the way in this. Prophet knows everywhere. Right? Last question from Brother Bukhari Bey. When we receive a jury summons for the straw, how do we address that? Personally, if you have nothing to do or whatever, you're not losing nothing or whatever, I would go just so you could learn some, court stuff. Even though it's color, but, you know, being in the arena, seeing them call each other friend and stuff like that, would give you different perspective, especially if you're going in there with Moorish mindset. You'll be able to pinpoint things specifically that they're doing to know, how to even maneuver out here through some jury summons crap, right? Now, if you got something, remember they can't deal with anybody biased and they have to interview everybody. So, you just be a black guy and bet you they don't take you. You start talking some black power or whatever stuff up there, I bet you they say, nah, not that guy. He's not suited to be a juror for this case or whatever. And just compromise the case. You waste money sending writs and all this type of stuff because, they're going to interview you for that. You're not just selected and you have to go. They're going to interview you. Somebody's going to call you, talk to you about something with regard to that. Come to some meeting on whatever day so we can, debrief you about the stuff. And in the debrief, you be biased. And what are you gonna do? Waste fiat to go send these colored guys some stuff when you could use their own stuff? They have their own window. That's just like people want, yeah, well, the vaccination for my children. Can I get a writ for the writ? And they got their own void the vaccination request stuff in their own stuff. That all you have to do is just bring that form in, get that sealed. Yeah, so and so, yeah, they belong to the church of whatever, and you get off that stuff and save your little fiat that we don't have. Now, ain't worth nothing anyway, so, but we're not going to be out here selling mail for free right now, so, you're gonna, need to use a fiat for something, right? So when it comes to jury summon, if you're not losing nothing, if you just chill all day, you don't do anything, go take the 1 cent an hour. You know what I mean? Go be on a jury and then, you know, study some stuff. Who knows? You might even get into, a judge's chamber. They might have some books there. Like, while you're doing deliberation, you pull the books down, pretend you're talking about the case and whatever, and take some notes since you don't have your own dictionary at home because, those are becoming scarce on eBay. Can't even find a Black's Law dictionary right now, right? So you might just have to go to jury stuff, go get, you know, the dictionary. Just because, why not? Because more is about learning anyways. So, and we're so far behind, we usually want to learn everything that we can. We're so far behind, you know. But we're really ahead, if you look at it. You know what I'm saying? So, Allah's the best of planners. Noble Jolly knows where everybody's at. Knows where everybody's at along the road. So just keep doing what you're doing, Mars, because we're doing something out here. These guys putting out videos all of a sudden. All these guys on soapboxes now. You know what I mean? People want to go to the UN and you know what I mean, all that stuff. People's mindset changing. That's because of Mars. So give yourself a round of applause, Mars, for putting the frequency out there. You know what I mean? Ripple effects go a long way. You know, stay active. We already know it's Noble Drawley up front because that's the man. That's the mind. That's the brain of the whole operation, right? Of us being brought back into the marvelous light. So continue to show faithfulness to your prophet and your divine Moorish movement. And remember that Noble Drawley told the Moors, think and save yourself. Don't worry about what somebody says or whatever. Just think. You think and guaranteed you will save yourself just from thinking. If you don't want to think, don't worry. There's many vampires out there with feathers on that love sucking people who, are lost in this, who want to go to, all these other sites or whatever. Kudro said go over here, but they don't want to listen to Kudro because, that guy said, Kudro doesn't know what he's talking about. He's violating, divine constitution and bylaws. Right? But those guys charging them for everything, and Kudro give you everything for free. So stay true, Moors. Islam to all the Moors worldwide, all the Moors in the chat. You know what I mean? You know how it goes. Don't forget Saturday. You know what I mean? We're gonna be in Steel City. Oh yeah, and Sunday. We're not gonna be any class Sunday, but we got Skype Sunday. And Skype we got Brother Jabbar. He's gonna be doing his MSTA history. You know what I mean? Skype. So that should be interesting. You're gonna pull out some stuff. You know what I mean? We'll definitely have that up on YouTube by Monday, Tuesday. Right? And yeah, let's just close out. And we're out of here. No Moorish Heritage and History School tonight, so you can go do something. 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day through His holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Islam. Oh yeah, and just a reminder, if you want the book by Dr. York to see how he sold out the prophet and try to throw the prophet under the bus and claim to be Nabi when he knows that's Noble Drew Ali's title, send an email and we'll send you the Who is Noble Drew Ali PDF by, so-called Imam Isa. Dr. York, the guy, R&B singer guy, lipstick, stuff like that. Talking about Moors. Islam, Moors, peace and love.